probably have seen this: the bull flag, head and shoulders, the cup, support and resistance line, Fibonacci levels, triangles, wedges, double tops, double bottoms, ABC pattern, and so on. In this video I will tell you the shocking truth about chart patterns by exposing some of published scientific research, and I will answer the age-old question: can you actually make money on trading chart patterns? But before I can answer that question, we need to understand how your brain works. When I show you this picture, what do you see? Our brains works in such a way that we constantly try to make sense of the world. We're searching for meanings everywhere, we're searching for patterns everywhere, and that is the way we make sense of the world. However, it has one particular downside. We see patterns, we see regularities where there are none. And there's actually a name for that. It is called apopedia. This is a tendency of our brains to seek meaningful connections where there are actually none. Apopenia can lead to making false assumptions, jump to conclusions, and make us ignore contradictory evidence. So there are plenty of examples of apomenia in our everyday life. For instance, have you ever noticed when you learn a new word or a new concept that you suddenly start seeing it everywhere? This is called a frequency illusion. This happens because your brain is more attentive to the new information and filters out unrelated stimuli. Another example, have you ever noticed that you see faces or animals in rocks, in clouds, or in other objects? This is called pareidolia. It is a type of visual illusion that occurs when your brain interprets vague stimuli as something meaningful. A third example is when you think that certain events are correlated when they are actually not correlated at all. This is called an illusory correlation. This is a cognitive bias where we think that two events are highly correlated when the correlation is actually weak or non-existent. So you might think that wearing your lucky shirt might increase your chances of winning the lottery. But what about chart patterns? Are they also examples of apopenia? So if I give you this chart, what do you see? Maybe support resistance, head and shoulders, cup. But before I really can answer that question, we need to consider another thing. How do you perceive information? And there are two amazing biases when it comes to chart patterns and trading. We have a confirmation bias. That is a tendency that we look for things that confirm our theory and ignore the things that do not confirm our theories. So in the form of chart patterns, we seek for places where our chart patterns work and ignore where it doesn't work. A second thing is the hindsight bias. Have you ever noticed when you trade and you look back on the day and you think, wow, it's so obvious. It all makes sense. It's so easy. Yes, because everything is easy after the events. When the events are happening, you don't see the outcome. But when you know the outcome, then all of a sudden it becomes logical. A study by Lowe tested 10 of the most popular chart patterns over a period of 31 years on all major indices. They concluded that most technical indicators have little predictive power. Another study by Park et al. Examined the 40 most common chart patterns over a period of 10 years in the Asian markets. And they found that only 3 patterns had some predictive power: the head and shoulders, the rectangle top, and the rectangle bottom. But they also noted, when taking commissions into account, these patterns would not yield to significant results. A third study studied the 26 most common chart patterns on the hourly chart of the most common forex pairs. Their results indicate that only 6 patterns had some predictive power: boarding top, descending triangle, diamond top, double bottom, triple bottom, and wedge down. However, they also stated, taking the bid-ask spread into consideration and the cost of trading, that these chart patterns had limited value to use in trading. A thing that all these studies have in common is that they do not trust that chart patterns are a valuable trading tool. So then the question is, can you make money with chart patterns? And the answer is yes, you can. But you have to consider a second question, and it is, can you make money with chart patterns alone? And I highly doubt that. You have to know in what markets it works, in what time frame, what is your risk reward ratio, what is your win rate, and all of that makes a profitable strategy. If you want to know what all winning traders have in common, you have to watch this video.